So welcome again to this wonderful community, to this great community solar array, and to the Mascoma Cooperative. My name is Krista Shute. I'm the Energy Fellow for Climate Justice at the Vermont Law School's Institute for Energy and the Environment. And I work inside the Energy Clinic, leading student clinicians and projects. And we focus on low-income residential solar ownership. And we have a bunch of students here today from that, all 3 semesters that have worked on this project. And that piece, that low-income solar ownership piece, that's what this project is about. That's what this project has accomplished. It's a 100 kilowatt AC and 132 kilowatt DC solar array. It's got 384 panels. It produces 176,000 kilowatt hours of energy a year. And this community chose to retain those renewable energy certificates, and so they've lowered their carbon footprint. They're making an impact on the environment and bringing us a cleaner world. It's the equivalent of taking 18 cars off the road or 100,000 pounds of coal. So it makes a difference. But in addition to that, as part of their group net metering agreement that each of these participants signed, they're participating in energy efficiency training, and they're implementing cost savings measures. So today, after the ribbon cutting and the reception, we're actually having a sign up so that they can sign up with Liberty Utilities to get these cost saving measures implemented in December, which is probably news to everybody because we found out last night that they're going to be able to do that. So, but this project is the culmination of years of work that's striving to bring the environmental and economic benefits of solar to communities that can't otherwise leverage the existing 30% federal investment tax credits for solar. It started before 2016. It started with a partnership between Vermont Law School and the New Hampshire Sustainable Energy Association with Clay Mitchell and Kate Epson, and now, which is now Clean Energy New Hampshire under Madeline Minot. It started with the vision of Kevin Jones, who's the director of our Energy Institute, and his ability to get funding from Jane's Trust and the John Merck Fund to support the clinic's work on low-income solar ownership. So we really thank those funders, and one of them is here today, for their generous and continued support. Thank you very much. It started with Tara Reardon in Rock, New Hampshire, with a belief that there must be a way to leverage the cooperative model that is a foundation for empowering low and moderate income citizens. But realistically, this project isn't feasible until the passage of Senate Bill 129. SB 129 provided or requires that 15% of the Renewable Energy Fund be dedicated to solar projects that directly benefit low moderate income residents, specifically in manufactured housing communities like the one behind us and multifamily rentals. So when I started in August of 2017, the student clinicians that summer, Ian Oxenham and Aaron Kelly, had just proposed a model structure where the cooperative, the community cooperative, was the host and could directly benefit from the new grant funding. We knew we needed to work really fast, and so to get a project shovel ready for the grant. And so we looked to Tara and said, where should we go? And she said, Mascoma Meadows is the Rock community to start with. They're a wonderful community with a great board. And how right she was. I mean, you guys have been amazing. This board has been wonderful. They've asked questions, they've rallied the community, they've held special meetings, they've gone door to door. I mean, generally they've helped make this project happen. So I'd like to give a shout out to Calvin, who you met, their president, Lynette, the treasurer, Linda, the secretary, Al, who's the director of operations, and Nate, who I don't think is here today.
No, he's not.
So our goal was to maximize the benefit to the community. And we did that. We did that by leveraging the resources of the New Hampshire Community Loan Fund so that we could issue a request for proposal that limited investors to a single-digit return. And we were able to do that because if we didn't get any of those proposals, we knew we had another place to go. We knew the Community Loan Fund could bring investors to the table. But we did get a bid. We did get several bids. And Revision Energy, in conjunction with Revision Solar Impact Partners, was the winning bid. They've given their impact investors an opportunity to invest in this community and finance a project that aligns with their values. The impact partner was willing to leave the environmental attributes with the community. And they were willing to take a lower return, thereby leaving more of the economic benefit to the community. And so we thank them for that. And we thank Revision Energy itself, who's been a wonderful solar developer to work with. They've done an amazing job building this array in a super short period of time. So thank you, Bobby and Megan. Ultimately, we've leveraged the federal tax credit with the impact investors, which makes the state grant funds go farther. We've empowered the community to invest in themselves, for the Rock Cooperative to be the host, and for the net metering credits to go to them, to purchase the power from the impact investor for 5 years, but then to become owners themselves and get even further benefits from that. So what else makes this project so special? Community participation. There are 48 homes here in the park, and 45 of them have signed up for this program. 45 families have committed to energy education and energy efficiency measures. 45 families will receive a monthly lot rent reduction, reflecting the revenue received by the cooperative from the net metering arrangement with Liberty Utilities. 45 families will have a greener footprint. What else makes this project so special? Community participation. From the willingness of the entire Mascoma community, the community came together in this church and voted as a community to purchase this piece of property at fair market value. And after they made that vote to invest in themselves, the church stood up, the past Bruce Jerome, the pastor then, stood up on behalf of the church trustees and said, because you were willing to invest in yourselves, we are going to donate this land. And as Calvin said, there wasn't a dry eye in the house. What makes this project so special? Community participation. From the pro bono work of Eli Emerson, who spent many hours and came to evening and working meetings, weekend meetings, to others at Primer Piper Law Firm, to the cooperation of Liberty Utilities and Pathways Engineering, you all helped make this project happen. The town of Lebanon, who supported this project, from the Lebanon Energy Committee to the various permitting boards that we had to go through, including zoning and planning and conservation. And a special thanks to Tim Corwin, who's the Lebanon Senior Planner and Zoning Administration. He really took the time to work with us, to make it happen, and to work with the students. But I think that most of the people here today would agree that this project wouldn't have happened without Vermont Law School. And I want to thank Kevin Jones for his leadership on this project, for Staff Attorney Jeannie Oliver for her support and leading some of the clinic. Over 4 semesters of VLS Energy Clinic students have had the opportunity to work on and learn from this project. And we will be carrying this model forward to New Rocks, some of which are here today. I thank them, all of them, for their time and dedication to help making the project happen. It's been my privilege to lead these teams as we've drafted and issued requests for information, requests for proposal, sample power purchase agreements, lease agreements, property exchanges, negotiations with the developers, with the investors, conducted the permitting, designed and drafted a group net metering agreement specifically for residential-owned communities that incorporates energy efficiency. And maybe most importantly, for this project, we submitted a successful bid to the Public Utility Commission for a grant funding. The Energy Clinic will continue to produce templates and guides for the community members, for the ROC boards, for the ROC New Hampshire staff, and for our own future clinicians. And we will perpetuate this model and help bring it to more of the 124 ROCs that exist throughout New Hampshire. Lastly, this project wouldn't have happened without funding from the New Hampshire Public Utility Commission and the Renewable Energy Fund and its staff. The PUC staff held many working groups on low-income solar pilots. They listened, they responded, and they crafted an RFP that was fair. It was a little short on tight time frames, but it was fair. This project, therefore, received a $168,000 grant. And the staff continues to work hard to make sure this new model works so that it can serve as a basis for projects to come. And this year, there's over $1 million, double what was available last year in this fund. So our clinic team has been working hard to make presentations throughout New Hampshire at different ROCs to find the next communities to reap the environmental and economic benefits that thus far have been largely relegated to the well-off.
Yeah, all right.
Yeah.
We're holding.
You push up.
Yep,
Are we ready?
looking.
Ready?
Go.
Okay.
Congratulations.
We did it.
You get the ribbon.
We did it.
Go to the
Watch those scissors.